So this is what the backer rod looks like. It's foamy. You want to get your dog in a comfortable position where they're not going to move and hold still. So you're going to measure the backer rod. You want to shove it down their ear as much as possible until you can't push it down anymore. And then you want to measure about an inch afterwards. And then you can cut it. This is where it's going to be. Keep in mind you want to do each ear separate because they both will not be the same. Next, instead of using the adhesive spray, how it was in the video of the website I sent you, the tape will take the place of the spray. So you put it on the back side with the sticky side up. You want to start at one end and do it diagonally. It does not have to be perfect, but you want to roll it as tight as possible to the foam. That way it's secure. And you keep going diagonally up from one end to the other. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect or super flush, but you can try as much as possible. I also suggest you doing this part before you get your dog ready. Once you get to the end, you want to have a little bit of a slack left, and that will be the part that holds the cotton, which will also be the base. This is the part that's going to go inside the dog's ear. So you cut and you just kind of wrap it at the end, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as that it holds. And then this will be one of the dog's. Next, this is what we're going to use to tape the cotton around the base of the rod. So you just want to prep these pieces before you get your cotton ready. So you just cut about 3 inches. It's better to have slack, and you just try to tear it down the middle as much as possible. Keep these pieces ready. Next, you get your cotton and you start trying to stretch it, making it into a circle. Just be careful not pulling too hard so that you don't rip it like I just did, but this piece will still work. You get the end, that's the part of your backer rod, put it in the middle, and then you just kind of stick it to the rod. You hold it with the other hand, and then you get one of your pieces that you prepped, and you start taping it to the rod. So use your thumb to hold it down. Again, try to make it as tight as possible so it does not come off. And just tape it until it's fully secured. And then this is what your finished product will look like. So that will be the part that goes into the dog's ear, and that's the top. Now you're ready to post. So what you will do is you will get the cotton part that's down, and this is the part that will go in your dog's ear. So you push it all the way down. It's not really inside of the ear, it's more to the base of it. And then you just stick it onto the ear until it's with the middle part of the top. Again, you're gonna have some slack, but that's okay. You just hold it on there until it's secure. I know some of the videos have shown you to pre-cut measured strips, but I found that dogs are able to rip those off. I like to keep them all together and just tape directly onto the ear from the roll. So you just, again, the same thing like the ear. You want to do it at a diagonal. So you always want to tape to the inside. So you start at the base, and you don't want to do it too tight where it'll cut circulation. So you measure it to the ear, and it's going inward. You can get to the end of the ear and then just pinch the tape right there so that it's not too tight. You don't want to cut the circulation off, and you just make sure that's sticking to the skin. You bring it around. Again, you don't want to do it too tight, but you do want it to be secured. And you just continue taping inward all the way to the top. So you're gonna find that it's not gonna be flush or even as you're taping upward, and that's okay. It doesn't have to look perfect. But once you get to the top, make sure that it's not too tight. And then you just cut whatever your stopping point is. And you just squeeze the whole ear. And this secures it onto the ear, like so. So you have one down. Now we're ready for the second ear. So this is the one we measured for this ear. Same thing. Push all the way down to the base. And then stick it to the ear. Now for this one, we're gonna tape diagonally, but the opposite way. You always wanna tape inside to the ear. Take it, we're gonna pinch it again so it doesn't, so it's not too tight to the shape of the ear, and start rolling. Once you get to the top, go ahead and make sure that the tape end is flush, but then just squeeze the ear. And there you go, you have two little antennas. So now that you have both ears taped, the dogs like to scratch their ears out a little bit, the posts. So you want to do an additional step to make sure they're not able to scratch off their ear post. So again, you want to tape to the inside of the ear, and you start at the base. You just go around maybe, I say 2, no more than 3 times. So 3 being your max. And you just want to cover the base of the ear so that they can't get their nails in there. So it's going to look a little bit scrunched up, and that's okay. And you just make sure that the bottom place is able to latch on. You just squeeze it. So now they can't dig their nails inside of their ear. So you have one ear. And now we'll do the second ear. Same thing. Start at the base, and you want to go to the inside of the ear. And again, I found that if you just keep all of the tape together versus doing pre-cut strips, it's able to hold on better. Well, this method versus the cutting strip method worked a lot better. And give it a squeeze. And you can see that it's pretty covered, as well as this side. So now we're ready to do the strip in the middle to hold both of the ears up. So what you want to do is you want to make it so that it covers like mid of the post all the way across to the other side. And remember, they're going to come in closer, so you don't want to do it the length that they are apart. I did a little over 6, maybe 8 inches. It's better to have slack than for it to be short. You start taping one side, kind of go in to the inside a little bit, and you just grab the next side of the post and you wrap it around. You want it to be so that they're together. You don't want them too far apart. And then the remaining of the slack, you just bring it around to the back of the post. So I have too much, so I'm going to cut the end off a little bit. And I'm going to wrap that post around it. So that's the front side. Next, we want to do the back side. So again, you can have more than enough. and you want to wrap it on the front, and then you have both of the sticky parts together. This will hold the posts in place. You squeeze it and you bring it around. Give yourself a little bit of the slack to hold on to it and give it one final squeeze.